Section 6.3, Complex Rational Expressions. To simplify a fraction divided by a fraction, we must first rewrite that as 5x squared over x plus 1 divided by 3x over x plus 1. You cannot divide fractions, so we change it from division to multiplication and flip the second fraction upside down, and that becomes x plus 1 over 3x. The first fraction stays exactly as is. Now, before we multiply, we can reduce. And we can reduce out the x plus 1. We can also reduce out this x, which reduces one of these x's, leaving one x left. Now we multiply straight across the numerators, which gives us 5x, and straight across the denominator, which gives us 3. Sometimes we have two fractions in our numerator and two fractions in the denominator. The easiest way to do this division is to first get rid of all the fractions by multiplying by the common denominator of all four fractions. The common denominator of all four fractions is x squared, y squared. So if we multiply every single term, both in the numerator and in the denominator, by x squared, y squared, we can reduce out the fractions. Looking at the first fraction in the numerator, the x squareds reduce out, leaving y squared times 1, which is y squared, minus the second fraction in the denominator, the y squares, in the numerator, the y squareds cancel out, leaving 1 times x squared, which is x squared. Now moving down to the denominator, the first fraction, the x cancels out one of these x's, leaving an x. And that gives us xy squared times 3, which is 3xy squared, plus the second fraction in the denominator, the y cancels one of these y's, leaving a y. So we are left with 3 times x squared y, which is 3x squared y. Now notice we have in our numerator the difference of two squares. We can factor that by placing x or y plus x times y minus x. In our denominator, they both have a factor of 3 that we can pull out, and a factor of x and a factor of y, leaving y plus x in the parentheses. Now we can reduce that fraction. The y plus x reduces out. Final answer is y minus x over 3xy.